Om Shanti. And first of all, the practice of Raja Yoga, for people who maybe haven't heard this, is to become aware of the self. In life, we're aware of everything around us and other people. Raja Yoga teaches us that you have a right to be yourself. And in a relationship, there's two ways. Someone might always be the one who gets their say, or you may feel that it would cause a problem if you didn't agree. Raja Yoga says you teach yourself not to go there. You have a right to be you in a peaceful, loving, kindly, understanding way. So today it's called the power to discriminate. Discriminate what is right and what is wrong. Not out there. We can do that in a second and say, oh, wow, it'd be better if they did this or did that. And we have been trained to think like that, to have our opinion on things that we can't change anyway. We might say they have to stop that, they must not, it would be better if they did it this way. That doesn't work. Because if we were at the big table when they made the decisions, we might have had a say, but we're not. The only energy that you have to look at and feel happy with is yourself. And it's not so much the self like this, it's the self, the attitudes, the way we think, the way we feel, and the way personally we interact with others. Always teach the self to treat each other the way we would like to be treated. So it takes a bit of training, and part of the training is meditation, to become peaceful. When I'm peaceful, I start to understand things in me. I can even understand a longing in the self, a longing to do that which I feel to be right for the self. So it's called the power to discern. So it brings together being detached and having a clear focus. And then if I start to practice that, so stepping back and seeing what's actually happening, then I can understand the whole story and all of its parts. Because usually we're in like this and emotions are in there, things are happening, and I just either don't have a single word to say, or I just follow what's happening anyway for the sake of keeping things calm. That's the old way. That's the old-fashioned way. So when I start to think that I'm looking for that which is beneficial, if it's beneficial for myself, it will be beneficial for a situation. Because myself is not going to push and shove and fight and argue. Myself is going to step back and think calmly of what's the best solution. Whereas someone I'm interacting with might only be thinking of what they say and that is it sort of thing. But Raja Yoga teaches me no. Let them say what they like, do what they like, it's up to them, it's their energy. But for me, I would rather stay calm and peaceful and starting to understand the situation, because when I think like this, I can understand the truth of the moment and I can feel clear and quite certain of what I have to do. Again, it takes a bit of practice of meditation and being peaceful, because our emotions are just like that, ready to charge in and do the old way. So the power to discern is the art of consulting yourself and to understand the knowledge of what's true and what's false, truth and falsehood, benefit and non-benefit, right and wrong, what's right and what's wrong. And so I have to look at if it's right for me, and other people will do what's right for them, and I won't interfere with that. You don't get in there trying to tell people what to do. If they want to push and shove, then let them push and shove. But let me not be too affected by the push and shove and keep myself calm. I can understand the knowledge of truth and falsehood, right and wrong, and reality and illusion, benefit and loss. To clearly see what's true from what's not, and to know what's really going on in an interaction, is to just kind of pull yourself back, just subtly. Nobody needs to know that's what you're doing. But the funny thing is, if I step back, just slightly back a bit to hear what's happening here, it acts like a magnifying glass. And I can see that I don't quite maybe want to go there. So the power to discern is the power of clarity. And the power to discern is about trusting your higher self, the soul, even in the face of opposing opinions. Even you're getting pushed and shoved in a direction, and it will cause you that getting threatened that if you don't do this, I'll never speak to you again, or that's that, or who do you think you are, or why don't you answer me, all of this. But if you're genuinely okay, and you're okay with what the other half are doing, because that's their energy, that's up to them, then that's fine, and you will definitely eventually have a very good outcome. Because you're helping someone else as well to get over their over-the-top emotions. Because we're not supposed to control each other. The reality of meditation is to learn to control yourself. And we have a right to control ourselves. And we control ourselves through understanding and remaining peaceful and being okay with whatever is happening there. And you don't judge or dislike or eventually get into an emotional state and give in if possible, because then you wasted that chance. It's the chance to know yourself. It's the chance to be your own best self that you can be. And that best self that you can be will have a very, very good effect on wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever the situation. You will have added, let's say, a new flavour, a new energy. And it's the energy of truth, which all human beings, somewhere in their hearts, know it to be true. Because we've all got caught up in emotion. And emotions can be very destructive. They even destroy the self. Because we get in such a state of tension and worry. And then we feel dreadful if we did win a situation through emotion. We know we used force and anger to get our result. But when you start looking at this, you don't go there. If possible, you teach yourself not to go there. The power to discern also calls you to acknowledge that logic alone is not enough. So when you use emotion, you can be logical and say, oh no, oh, that would cause a problem. No, It's not enough. It signals that you must increase your wisdom and trust in your own intuitive skills. The fact if you feel that there's a discomfort here, why are you going to go along that discomfort? Just step back and see clearly. Someone's lost the plot, but you don't have to lose it as well. You have to trust in your intuition, and trust is a key word here. And the more there is trust in the self, the more you'll come to know when your intuition is accurate. So, some of the energies that happen when you become calm, you can become clear. And your thinking is very simple. It's not complicated. And you have an accuracy which will be beneficial for whatever gathering you happen to be in. And trust, you start to trust. Trust that they're doing what they have to do. You're doing what you have to do. And actually, this is how we help each other. If we just let people do what they feel they have to do, but if I then realise that's not actually how I understand it for myself, but I can go with the flow as well and smile and be light-hearted and friendly, and it's okay. But the one energy I'm involved with, that I'm responsible for, the only energy I'm responsible for, is the energy of the self. I'm not responsible for anyone else's energy, because the soul is the energy of life, and every human being has energy in the centre of their forehead. And it's the energy that makes the body alive. And by the law of energy, everyone is only responsible for their life energy. But today, we all feel we're responsible for everything. How could I put the world right? So the only energy ever that I'm responsible for is the energy of myself. And our lives become more and more complicated. And then we think that I'm responsible. Of course, we're practically responsible in a practical way for the life we live. So I pull away from all these false responsibilities. But at the same time, if I stay calm and steady, I can be a good influence on whatever environment I'm involved in. So to discriminate is to discriminate what is right and wrong for the self, not for someone else. That's up to them. And if they don't discriminate, then that's the way they are. The whole world, I don't think they're all sitting there becoming peaceful and deciding not to go there or not to challenge everything. But it takes you nowhere. The only thing you have to challenge is your own steadiness and fearfulness and worry. And away with that. Have trust in yourself. Trust the people around you as well, because you'll be with people that are there for you, really. Maybe to show you something more and more clearly. But when you step back, you're going to step back so as not to let your emotions pull you into the situation. And therefore, there's every chance that you'll be helpful for the situation. The other person's maybe champing at the bit and could be fighting, calling you for everything and all the rest of it. But if you step back, your emotions are not going to come in to fight back. And so the questions for yourself is just stay calm, stay peaceful, and observe. And if you observe, you can see the right thing to say. Sometimes you can say something really, really helpful to that person, so that they kind of down tools. But might not. I mean, every situation is different. And they can go away with a feeling of being appreciated. It's not that you step back and become holier than thou, but you step back and you can allow whoever's fighting with you, calling you for everything, to feel that they're being appreciated, because you see something. You see that they might have the best intentions, but they don't know what to do with their emotions. But if you step back, it is like a magnifying glass, and you can see how it's working. I would say that the whys and the wherefores are not for that minute. The whys and the wherefores you will have sorted out when you have times of silence, and you know your jumping attitude. And you tell yourself then, look, stay calm, everything's okay. So if you can calm yourself, you can also calm others. If you can say the right thing to the self, which makes you kind of, and stop going, well, what about this, what about that, what about, because all this other stuff's still with us, all the emotional prompts are still there. But it's, Raj Yoga's teaching me, become calm and peaceful. Sort yourself out as best you can every time you sit and meditate, so that eventually you understand, and you don't have to question it when there's a work situation or you've already answered that. You just, everything is okay. Everything will continue to be okay. Why? Because I'm feeling okay. It doesn't mean if there's others involved, doesn't mean they won't keep giving it laldi. Because that's the role they're playing. and don't lose faith in yourself, because your heart wants to do that which is best for you, which if there is a situation, it will also be best for the situation. But you won't take the big prize and sort of, oh, I won. You don't go there at all. You just quietly, everything's fine. You're not going to change the world. It's gone too far, and there's too many people involved, and there's too much sort of got their greed. Actually, they're earning a lot of money when there's chaos. So we can't change that, but again, change ourselves, and we try not to get into that. You can't change. Nobody can change it. Prime ministers can't change it. Religious leaders can't change it. Kings and film stars and powerful people can't change it. It's moving and moving and moving along on its path, and no one can change it. But individual people can change themselves, and that's the important thing. So the people who are able to change themselves won't be scared. They won't be traumatized. They won't think, oh my God. But they'll try to be the best energy for the people around them. And even the people around might not listen to any of this stuff or words of wisdom or anything. But they'll feel a vibration that it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to even say it. You just have to be it. That way you're channeling whatever information you have that's beneficial to yourself and out into the world. But first of all, to the people around you. And even the people around you are arguing with you, in opposition to you, that's fine. People get upset by circumstances. But if you stay steady and stable, and even with your voice, your actions and everything, like, it's not that you're being careless or carefree and happy and not bothered, it's that you're consciously giving a steadying energy out into the world. They're triggered off by fear. There's always some fear involved. So Raja Yoga meditation is saying yourself, you have to come away from that fear. Have faith in yourself. Have faith that you can have peaceful energy, which is, and you don't claim the right to that or smart that you won. Just quietly help to calm down. Because the whole world is agitated and angry and fearful, wondering what's going to happen next. But you know that, you're pretty sensible, we know, and we know there could be solutions, but you know there's not the time. There are a lot of people meditating, and that must be helping. There's thousands and thousands and thousands are helping. It's quite touching, actually. Every day they're meditating, so that power of peace is helping ordinary people or people close to people who are meditating. So that's all we can do, is to keep the self calm and want to be inside, to be someone who resonates and calms people down and sees the value in people around you, all that kind of thing. In a quiet way. Sometimes the words are of no use. If you start talking to people, think, what do you think you are? Ridiculous. And so sometimes it's just the vibration, the attitudes, the good feelings, the good wishes that do the magic. That's why meditation, and it's just a calming down. It's like having a bit of an anaesthetic, actually. An anaesthetic's a wonderful thing. Good thinking, because your thoughts are triggering off different energies. So if you've got thoughts of not happy with this, not comfortable with this, then you'll be ready to get in there. So just look at your thoughts and go, it's okay, let them do what they have to do. You just try and concentrate on what's the best energy for you. So keep going, because all it will do is give you a lightness and a light-hearted approach and happiness. It doesn't mean ha, but like a relief from that stress of what to do with our thoughts, all these feelings, all these emotions. They tear us apart, actually. Okay, thank you. Do your best not to react, but to think, how can I interact? You can still interact, but instead of going, you go, I can say something quiet maybe and okay, rather than choop. But you learn through the power of peace to a wee bit more. I'm getting a wee bit more. I've not reacted there. It doesn't mean you'll become Mr. Miracle or Mrs. Miracle in a day, but you're aware.
So I have the thought, I am a being of peace. I'm looking out through the eyes. Everyone is naturally peaceful. And it just takes one thought to step back into that point of peace. And this peace is my power. It gives me power to be calm and cool, to be kind, and to be content. Om Shanti.